Hey everyone, Jack here from 5 Minute Van Life. So today I'm going to be installing a receiver hitch on a 2015 Freightliner Sprinter 2500, and it's the Sprinter with the OEM step bumper on the back. So the hitch that I bought goes underneath that step bumper. So here it is. It's the CURT 13358 model, and it looks pretty straightforward to install. There's 4 bolt holes here on this side, and then there's 4 bolts on this side. So it seems pretty straightforward. I'm just going to go underneath and take a look. So this is how it looks from underneath. So there's 4 bolts. Here's the step bumper. And so I took 1 bolt out. I sprayed these with some penetrating oil a few hours ago just to loosen them up. I took 1 out, but what I'm going to do is, since they're all facing this way, I have to change the direction. So I'm just going to turn them around, push them through this way, do it on this side, and then do it on the other side. And then that way, when I lift up the receiver hitch, I can just push the bolts straight through, and I won't have to hold it up for too long, and I won't have to hold this up. So I'm going to take the rest of these bolts out. You will need a breaker bar to get these off. They're pretty stuck on there. Depends on how long you've had them on there, but mine were pretty stuck. So yeah, so I'll take these off. It's an 18mm socket. So we'll whiz these off, and then we'll just switch them the other way around. Okay, so yeah, this has 4 bolt holes, but when you initially look underneath, there's only 3 that are actually used. So when you mount the hitch, this is when you'll utilize the 4th hole, and it does come with two bolts for you to put through this 4th hole, so 1 on each side. It comes with the nut as well, so you don't need to buy anything else. So I just switched this one around, and I just have it flush with the hole. That way when I push up the receiver, it's not going to stop it from going up, and then as soon as it's up level, I can push it through, and then it'll hold up the hitch while I tighten it down. So if you have, you know, like electrical tools and stuff where you can get your tool in there to get these off, you probably can just leave the spare tire mount on, but I'm just using just a movable wrench and a socket. So I'm gonna take this down, the spare tire mount, take it down so I can access all these nuts and bolts. So it's pretty straightforward. First, you'll just want to, there's 2 bolts in the back of the van, and you'll use a 19mm socket. You just want to loosen these. Try to do one hand, there we go. So you'll just want to loosen these. I think you're supposed to start with the left one first, and then do the right, but not sure if it makes any difference. Well, let me just put this. Okay, so I loosened both of those, and now if you look underneath, there's this hook that's holding it up, 1 on each side. You just have to lift this up, and then you should be able to pull the hook out. There is a tool in your spare tire kit in the front of the van, the front passenger side. There is a tool that goes in here to help you lift it up, but I'm just gonna probably do it by hand so I don't have to pull it all out. Okay, so change of plans. I'm just gonna grab this metal bar. It makes life easier. So yeah, passenger side, just pull this off. It's a little screw that holds it in place. And then if you look in the little goodie bag, you can use this, the wrench it comes with, or there is an actual tool you can use. Should be a blue one, the one you use for the taking the spare wheel, the spare tire off. Okay, there we go. And then you can just use this. You can use it to put into this little hole, and it just helps you hold it up while you unhook it from here. Try and put this down. There's one side. That's two. Alright, so now I should be able to access all these bolts underneath. Just makes it a lot easier. Okay. So I'm just using a breaker bar with an 18mm socket and just a regular socket with an 18mm. And yeah, I'm just loosening these bolts. Okay, so I got the nut out. The nut's out. It's off. Now I just have to just unscrew it. Sometimes it gets a bit stuck. That's it, and then we'll just turn it around, push it through, and you just probably have to screw it down. Alright, there it is. So let's get it nice and flush, and I'll do the next one. Alright, so here's the fourth one. There's there's the third one. And now I'm just gonna put the fourth bolt that they sent me in the fourth hole. Whoops. There it is. I'll just try to keep it flush. Oh hell, the hitch will slide on nice and easy. Okay, so that's one side done, and now we'll just do the other side. Oh, so it does come with these rectangular metal pieces, and they go on like that. So I just have to put that on the other one real quick. So I'm just gonna put that on there. And so it goes just like this, and then in the hole. That's it. Alright, same on this side. Switching them around. Took one out, this bottom left here, and now I'm just screwing it back in. To be difficult though. Okay, so when you're doing this, just make sure you do it taking these off one at a time. Otherwise the bumper's gonna fall on you, so you don't want that. So make sure you're doing them one at a time. Okay, so that's 3 done. And now I'm just gonna put the new bolt through the 4th hole. So that doesn't fall on you. Okay, there we go. Alright, now time for the hard part, getting this hitch up here. Alright, so I'm all set up. I got my hitch in place, and my step bumper came with these metal plates, but in order for it to fit, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to take these off. So I'm taking these off, and I'm just making sure all these bolts are flush. before I lift it up. And then what I'm going to do is, once I get the hitch up, I'm going to use this new bolt, and since it's not threaded all the way, I can just push it in to hold it in place. And alright, so there it is. I used the new bolt just to hold it in place, and then you just have to kind of lift up this side of it to get this bolt in. So you have to lift this side up a little bit, and then once you get that bolt in, it's pretty easy going, and you just thread them all in. You do have to use a torque wrench to tighten these. According to the instructions, I don't have a torque wrench, so I'm just going to tighten these up as much as I can by hand. And then my friend has a torque wrench, so I'll have him do it. But pretty straightforward. Pretty easy to do. And yeah, I'm just going to put these nuts on and then tighten them up. Yeah, so these threaded bolts, they do just push through, but mine are kind of corroded, a bit rusty, so sometimes you have to thread them through. But if you just lift this up, it'll actually they'll actually just push through. And then I'm just using all the pre-existing nuts and bolts except for that new one they sent me. Just tightening these on. So I'm just tightening up these last couple of bolts, and for the new bolt that they send you, it's actually a 19mm head on it, so you'll need a 19mm for that, and then you'll need a deep socket, 18mm deep socket, to tighten the nut up, because the bolt is much longer than the other ones. So yeah, if you're using a regular socket, it's not going to fit. You need a deep socket for it to fit, and then we can just tighten these up now. But yeah, I tighten these up as much as I could, and then I'll make sure to tighten these up with a torque wrench after. Okay, so there it is. They're all tightened up. Like I said, I'm going to use a torque wrench and finish tightening them up, but yeah, they're all nice and tight. And that's it. Pretty straightforward. Not too bad at all. I'm just going to put my spare tire back. Pretty much goes back on the way it came off. You just hook it back onto these hooks, and you can use that leverage bar just to lift it up. But yeah, and then once you get it on the hooks, you can just tighten them down on the bolts. So that wraps it up for this video. If you liked the video, if you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, if you like any of my other videos, yeah, please subscribe. We're a family of 5. We're going to be traveling around in this beautiful self-converted Sprinter van. So yeah, if you're looking for some fun videos, entertainment to watch, yeah, please subscribe and support us while we're on the road, and follow along. It's going to be an amazing journey. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.